What's up, guys? So back at it again with the Jetson. What's going to be new for this is that I bought another controller. This controller, it still works. It just has a couple issues with the phase. I think I burnt out the phase. So if anything, I just went ahead and bought a new controller. Because with this new controller, what I'm planning on doing is doing the shunt mod. Now you have your two pieces of thingamajigger. I forgot what the hell you call them, but technically what the shunt mod is that you solder more more shit onto these two little metal things to give it more amps and voltage being drawn. So technically it's kind of like a little neat trick for to just boost up acceleration, a little bit of top speed. But the only thing about the shunt mod is that I wouldn't recommend doing it unless you have a battery that can support it. Also, doing the shunt mod will blow out your motor if you don't have a motor to support the amount of watts and amperage that is pushing through. So that's the only thing about the shunt mod. But definitely, I do have a setup that more than capable of delivering the shunt mod. So if anything, there's many ways to testing out shunt mods. One is getting alligator clips and pinching both of them together. And once you pinch them both together, you can test it out, connect everything, and give it a little bit of a throttle and see how you like the acceleration. If it's just too much, then definitely I wouldn't recommend doing this mod, because this mod is just meant to kind of like mess around with the controllers, and also to bypass the limits of what the controller currently gives. The only reason why I'm doing this is because I have a spare controller. I could care less. I also have like 3 other controllers that I can use. So if anything, I want to do this before I go do my other side builds. But definitely, let's get to it. What you're gonna need is, screwdriver, a solder. Shit's heating up right now, and flex wire solders. So I got these off of Amazon. It was only like $10 for a pack of 3. Definitely very good. You want to get flux because what I read so far is that flux gives out the best flow of current and stuff. And I'm not all up in details of that. I just told that I would just get flux. It works well. So that's what I got. Now the next thing what you want to do is, once you open up everything, make sure that the batteries, these capacitors in the controller, are fully drained. You don't want to do the shunt mod with power into them. You can short it out. I wouldn't recommend doing that because you'll hear a pop, and it's kind of crazy. What you can also do is hook up your display and just turn it on. And then if you see the screen start fading out, that means that it's just the screen's using the storage energy that's in these capacitors to turn on that display. If anything, once that display is like clean and you don't see anymore, that means there's no more energy stored in these capacitors. Now, if anything, the reason why I need to do this, I also have to do a couple things. Is I need to chop off these power wires and connect my own connector for the battery. I already done it to this controller. There's some heat shrink. If anything, I'll chop these off, and then solder them together. And everything else is just literally the same. And then do the flux, the shunt mod, my bad. So if anything, I'll get it done. There's plenty of YouTube tutorials that show you how to do the shunt mod. If anything, I'll probably cut after I'm done doing it, and then you guys can see the after results. All right, so pretty much I just got done solder on the XT60 connector. My soldering is not that great. It's not the prettiest, but it does the job. Also soldered up the two wires together. I made a bridge. There's many ways to do this. You can pinch them together and then solder over them, or you can just keep adding more flux, and then you can either add them individually, or you could just create a bridge. I found like the most easiest way was just to create a bridge and just keep adding more solder just to complete it. I thought I burned a little bit into the capacitors. There's like a little white mark, but if anything, I think the capacitors are fine. It just probably got hot during where I was leading it. But definitely, you want to be careful where you're putting the soldering iron on. You just want to make sure you're not touching anything else besides those two little pins. But anything, I'm gonna put this all back together now, hook it back on the bike, and then I got a flat. Anyways, hook it back on the bike, test everything out first, and then I'll go for a ride, and then I'll show you guys the top speed and everything else too. Alright guys, testing out the Jetson after doing the shunt mod on it. So definitely gonna go for a small little ride. I wouldn't say the response is more, like the throttle is more responsive. It just feels more torqueier. That's what everyone's always saying about after doing shunt mod, is that it's just more torquey. So don't mind some of the noise that's going on, because that's the front brakes. They're not aligned correctly. I do have my Shimano brakes set up in the front, so they are working in the front. Just slowly cruising until I get to my straights, and that's when I can probably unleash. I'll catch up to this car pretty quick. Alright. Just leaning forward for now. See what I can get. I was twisting, ooh, snap. Yeah, I was twisting my, my throttle. I thought I was twisting my phone. Well, not even 1.3. I'd say it's about a 13% increase in speed. It's not too much, but it's definitely, it helps out. Definitely helps out getting to the top speed a lot quicker. Other than that, I mean, I don't see any much improvement, unless it's gonna be maybe for probably some fatter tires. But other than that, I mean, this is pretty much where it's sitting at for this current setup. Checking if I can get on the street. Right. Do another speed run. See what I could get. Yeah, definitely gets ahead another top speed, 36.7, so a 17% increase. Definitely a battery bag in the front will probably help out with the counterbalancing, but I'm pretty satisfied.